We're live.
We are live.
We're live. You want to say hi to everybody?
All right, now we're live. All right, let me shut down Facebook. Hey, everybody. I think the excitement in this group is intense right now because we gave you all this prep time to get ready for Monday night as we kick off our Instagram Now 5-day boot camp training put together by myself, Christina Delgado, and newly 10-star qualified coach Monica Lopez. We're really excited about this, you guys. Literally have been getting together every week for the last 3 weeks and just talking about it, hashing this out, getting our ideas together, doing research, and finally, after many months of this being an idea that I know I needed to execute on. I asked Monica, asked my sister, asked Becky, asked everyone, especially those that know that about Diesel Nation Academy, that the Instagram training tab of Diesel Nation Academy says coming soon for like 5 months now. And I was just talking to Monica about this, and the reason why, it's because every time I said, okay, I'm gonna block time off to finally, do this, right? To put pen to paper, to get this presentation going, I would get paralyzed. And the reason why I would get paralyzed is because I started realizing that there's so many components to Instagram that, and I wanted to do it justice. I didn't want to just throw something together, or even, although they're great, the national wake up calls on Instagram, they're 30 minutes. And I just don't think that's enough time to properly train on this platform. It's intricate. It's a lot of fun. We love Instagram. It's my jam. It's Monica's jam. It's Becky's jam. So many coaches in our team love Instagram. But there are a lot of moving parts to it, right? And so what we decided, thanks to Monica for finally giving me the kick in the butt that I needed to get this done, and for using her as such an important tool to this, because she has really grown her Instagram account in the last year or so to what, you're almost at 12,000 followers now, which is incredible. So she's got the swipe up feature. She's got the swipe up, which is everybody's goal. That we put this together for our team so that we can, as a squad, as Diesel Nation, elevate our game on this platform that is just playing a huge role in our business right now. You cannot deny it. You cannot ignore it. You have to embrace Instagram because it is just where a lot of business transactions are being done now. Facebook has changed a whole lot. Are we telling you in this training to abandon Facebook? Hell no. We are just going to focus for the next 5 days all of our energy on Instagram. And we think it's important because, even in my business, you guys, and I've seen it in a lot of the coaches in our team's business and a lot of coaches in the network, when we started coaching, many years ago, I would always say my business was 90% Facebook, 10% Instagram. And I just remained relentlessly consistent on Instagram, whether it was producing results for me or not. I just kept hacking away hacking away at it, learning, changing things up until finally I started gaining traction in the platform. And now in 2018, you guys, with 100% transparency, my business is about 95% Instagram, 5% Facebook. And that's that. Yes, I started blogging and I have a Facebook like page. It's not where I get a lot of traction. Haven't figured that out yet. We will as a team. But right now, Instagram is hot. Right, Monica?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about this training. Monica's going to walk us through the disclaimer, and I'm going to screen share 1 second.
All right. So while she screen shares here, guys, welcome to Instagram Now. We're really excited about it. To me, it feels like we gave birth to something that has been like in our minds, in our hearts for a while now. We found success with Instagram using exactly what we're going to teach in the next 5 days, but it was almost hard to put our finger on how to teach it. Because as you know, and this is where the disclaimer comes in, once you find something that works, you start to realize that even that tactic starts to evolve itself. Instagram starts to evolve. 6 months ago, we weren't playing on IG stories, right? It wasn't even a thing. And here we are, and we have this tremendous tool. And guess what, guys? In the next 6 months, it could look completely different. Everything could look completely different. So that is disclaimer, number one disclaimer we want to tell you guys right now. Everything we are teaching, and that's why we titled this training Instagram Now, because it's what's happening right now. It can change. It can evolve. In fact, it is a fact that it will change and it will evolve. So as business owners, okay, because we're all business owners, we all have to own what we're doing, and we have to elevate our game, and we have to get in front of all the changes, or should I say get behind them and use them, but be ready to evolve with them. You can't get stuck in your old ways, and you can't expect, okay, now that I just got this down, it's the law. That's not the case, all right? So that's disclaimer number one. Disclaimer number two is that we're going to teach you lots of different things, okay? It is up to you to decide what things you grab a hold of and you use in your own Instagram feed and with your own business. Some things might be of your taste and some things might not. Some things you might like, some things you might not. Things you might find too hard or too time consuming. Some things may come easy to you. It is up to you to choose. You are your business owner. What Christina and I have done here is we just gathered, we did a lot of research. It's funny because we sat back, and all the things that we saw working, we said, okay, but why is it working? And we started researching, we figured out why it's working, but we also realized that it's all about taste. It's all about what you choose to grab a hold of and use. There's no set law. And so a lot of things that we may teach, you may even look at our own Instagram feeds right now and say, hey, but you're not doing that. Well, because we're choosing not to do that at the very moment, right?
But we're still learning ourselves.
Yeah, we're still learning. In fact, as I was creating this training, all of a sudden I went back to my Instagram. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I changed things around. I'm playing around with it. I can do that. It's my prerogative. So that's another disclaimer that we wanted to tell you guys about and just put out there. Christine, I feel like I'm missing one. Wasn't there one?
I think that's it. It's pretty much, it's one of those things that it's all personal taste and your personal brand. So we're going to talk about that during this training. We're going to talk about a lot of different topics during this training. Tonight, though, we're going to really focus on the look of your feed, the look of your account. But you're going to see over the course of the next 5 days that we've broken it down so that we keep it compartmentalized. That's a difficult word to say, compartmentalized. The first one's going to be the look, and we called it Make It Sexy because it really is about drawing your following in and making them want to stay based on the visual appeal of your accounts. We're going to talk about filters and images and imagery and memes and all that stuff. And so tomorrow, just to give you guys an outline of what's coming so you can get excited about it, tomorrow we're going to talk about content and what makes your account valuable to other people. What are the things that we see not only successful Beachbody coaches implementing on their Instagram account, but that we see, successful bloggers, successful other kind of fitness accounts, that there's this common thread on content that we want you to understand while utilizing your own personal niche and brand and implementing it into your Instagram account. On Wednesday, super fun day, we're going to talk about Instagram stories and making your account fun and inviting and welcoming people into your life through Instagram stories. On Thursday, we talk about inviting through Instagram, which is usually it's the scariest thing for coaches to do is the actual invite, which we know is the foundation of our business. It's totally not scary on Instagram. We're going to show you how we do it. My sister Becky created awesome scripts. We're going to share the scripts with you. And so you're going to see it's not scary to invite on Instagram. And what's cool about Instagram is that you can actually invite every day. Every day, you can invite on your feed, you can invite on Instagram stories, and I just knocked my water bottle over, you can invite in your DMs, right? So we're going to talk about all of that. And then on Friday, the number one question, I know Monica gets this question a lot, is because we've seen a jump in her numbers recently, is how do you make your Instagram account grow? And so we're going to hammer away at the techniques of growing your Instagram account. But tonight, you guys, let's make it sexy. Monica, are you ready?
I'm so ready. All right, go over this real quick, Christina. You got the exercise.
Okay. Yeah, so the exercise is something that I thought we needed. Instead of just giving you a bunch of information, we need you to think. Like, you're a business owner, so we need you to stop and think about this, right? Because absolutely, whether I sponsored you through Instagram or Monica sponsored or any coach sponsored you through what you were watching on Instagram, there were various elements that drew you into that account. And it could be a very varying combination of imagery, of content, of inspiration, of motivation, whatever, but there was common threads throughout those accounts that drew you in. So I want you to take a snapshot of this slide, because we're going to revisit it at the end after we've covered everything, and then it's going to be your homework. The first is, what Instagram accounts stop your scroll or you find yourself visiting daily? And I want you to think about Beachbody coach accounts and also non-Beachbody coach accounts. And we, kind of name some for you to just kind of give you some ideas. Some other fit pros, restaurants, clothing, boutiques, home decor, blogger accounts, meme accounts. I don't know about you guys, but Monica and I spend our day when we're not inviting just sending each other funny memes all day. I'm telling you, Instagram is where people go to disconnect and have fun. I know I do it, so I know everybody else does it too. But I want you to think about, what are those accounts? What are the accounts that when you pick up your phone in the morning, you want to see what that person's up to? What is she doing? What is he doing? What's that new post that they posted at night after I went to bed? Those are the accounts I want you to visit, and I want you to, number 2, look at what attributes or characteristics of that account that you love. Write them down. Is it the colors that you see? Is it the patterns that they're using? Is it the imagery? Is it the filters? What is it? There is something that is drawing you in, whether it's humor, whether it's inspiration, whether it's visually just it blows your mind. There's some accounts that visually freaking blow my mind. And every day I want to see what that person's going to post. Some of them are coaches, some of them are not, but I use them as inspiration for me. And then the last thing that I want you to do is the self-inventory, right? What is it that is missing from your page, right? Because what we're doing here, you guys, is not only showing you what we know and think is working through our research, our own accounts, and what we see from others, is I want you to take a look at yourself and say, what can I do to change right now? And I'm not even talking about content yet. I'm talking about visually how we can adjust our accounts. Monica.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is the aesthetics of your page, of your feed, and it matters. Everything you're doing matters. If you are on Diesel Core, I've done a training before where I talked about we having a storefront and then having our inside the store, the sale racks and all that. Your storefront is what people see when they first walk into your store, right? The window. That has to be the best of the best. And that's kind of like your Instagram feed. Just like Christina finished talking about, think about those accounts that make you stop and look. Like, okay, when you go through your feed, is there ever a time where all of a sudden you find yourself double clicking, right, to like that picture, not even knowing who posted it, but it's just the fact that it grabbed your attention and you're double clicking without even thinking twice. Then when you realize, oh, it's so-and-so, man, she's just so awesome, you're clicking on her name, and next thing you know, you're going through her feed and liking a bunch of stuff. I mean, this is my mindless scrolling. But what I did is I took a step further. I do those things and I say, okay, what is she doing that I'm not? And I start to pay attention, and it falls into aesthetics, what it looks like. And we're going to talk about that now in a couple different categories. But what I want you to know is that filters are number 1 when it comes to that, right? The way your pictures look. And wait, go back real quick, Christina, because that's super important. A filter is like an outfit for your feed. It can make or break your look. And this is important. It means every single post that is on your feed, what comes after the next thing, what the flow of it, the look of it, how inviting it is, engaging it is, it all matters. It all matters when it comes to your feed. And guys, we talked about this has changed in the last 6 months or so. When Instagram Instagram stories came out, now it was almost like your everyday thing. You're kind of like your sales rack, you're inside your store. That all of a sudden became behind the scenes in the Instagram stories. But your Instagram feed needs to look polished. It needs to be the best of the best. And it does matter. It can make or break your look as being either an amateur or a pro, either someone good at social media or someone great at social media. So these things matter. Okay, go to the next one. So we're going to talk about this in many ways today, but the things that you're looking at are color schemes, okay? Pick colors that represent you, who you are, your personality. It could be your favorite color or it could be colors that just suit who you are. But pick them and stick to them, okay? And you can see here we use Andrea Crowder's page, Andrea, I always mess up her name. Andrea Crowder. We used hers because she's got that perfect color scheme for her Instagram story albums. And then she also uses a common filter scheme for all of her photos. And you can see it's like a soft blush pink, and she uses the black and whites for any of her quotes. So she uses the same scheme, and it's repetitive, and automatically you look at one of her pictures, you could probably be scrolling through your own feed, and one of hers will pop up, and if she's done it for a long enough time, which she has, it'll automatically be like, oh, there goes Andrea again, okay? Because you associate that person with what they're doing. And now all of a sudden becomes your brand. Your color scheme and your filter scheme matter, and it's what's inviting to people, okay? Next thing.
Can I just highlight something here before we start talking about flow? This is when you look at consistency and just, how do I say this? Just taking the time, I guess, very bluntly, to care about what you post, right? Because I can snap, and we're going to talk about this, you guys. We're going to be 100% honest. And Monica's going to show you an example of this, but I can snap one picture, right? One picture, and just throw it on my feed because it's easy to do. Or I can take a great picture, and mind you, just like at my post-workout selfies, just like any picture I take, it'll take me a good 10 to 20 shots to get the shot I want, right? So think about that. And I know Monica does this. I know anyone that has a great account does this. Very rarely do I take a shot and post that first one that I take. No, I take the shots that I take. I pick the right one. I filter it how I want my filter scheme to look, just like Andrea's doing here with her blush pink and the very soft feel of her page. And so I want you guys to just, like Monica just said, is it amateur or is it professional? And if you want to grow your Instagram account and you want to grow your business, these are the things that matter. You're going to hear that word a lot. It matters, right? So another thing that matters is...
I want to say one more thing. Wait, Christina, hold on.
Go ahead.
Wait, because I want to talk about this. It's also your reputation on social media, because you can so easily become white noise to people if you're constantly just throwing anything out there. It becomes white noise, and it's like, oh, there she, instead of stopping someone. That extra time to put out one great post can carry you a lot farther than 5 things, spaghetti that you just threw at the wall, hoping that something would stick. Take the extra time, and all that spaghetti can go into your Instagram stories to kind of tell who you are. But the polished, the good stuff, the stuff that took you time, that you put a little TLC in, go in your Instagram feed.
And this is another topic that I think it requires that TLC. It's the flow of your account, that you don't have 2 quotes next to each other, that there's posting with purpose, right? Mm-hmm. When you're going to put something up, I do this. I know everybody that has a nice flow to their account. I will look at my previous post and then decide from there what picture comes next. I did this today, post-workout picture. I knew that I was lacking in one of those bright post-workout pictures. I hadn't posted one in a while, right? So I looked at my feed and I said, okay, what do I need? And so I took the image that I needed to fill my account, not just to fill a spot. No, it was the one to make it flow nicely and how I want it to visually look. And so what do people do to have nice flow? Well, Keisha Fitzgerald has this checker pattern flow that you see a lot of people doing. This takes some time. It takes some thought. But when you look at her account, doesn't it like pop to you? There's always the black and white, and we wanted to point this out. A lot of the accounts that we picked use black and white. I think it's because taste, Monica and I do black and white. And so when we visually like accounts, they're usually in the realm of our taste. So you're going to see a lot of the black and white, but it doesn't have to be black and white. It can be another color. I know like Paulina uses the pink instead of the white. So it can be different. But as long as there's some sort of consistency and a vibe on your page, this is a checker, right? So you have that checker. It's one picture, one black and white, one picture, one black and white. There's a pattern to your posting. Here's Amanda Sobel. She's a rock star on our team who has a beautiful Instagram account, rocking her business. I think not. You know, it's not coincidence. I think it's because of the beauty of her account and her vibe and the content that she posts. But she also carries a pattern in her account where she does 2 pictures and a black and white, and that creates that tile down the center or down the sides every time you post. I do that every once in a while, and I want you guys to know, because you're probably looking at or gonna look at my page after this video. This is something that I don't do as well as I should have. I get into a pattern and then all of a sudden it goes to hell. But it is something that I'm cognizant of, that I need to get better at so that my account is more visually appealing. Another account that I love is Rob Pearson. His wife's account is absolutely stunning too. We thought about using Chelsea's account. We just think her pictures are so professional that it's not as relatable to a brand new coach, like a lot of you are watching this. So we chose Rob, her husband, and Rob has been doing this black and white imagery, 2 pictures black and white, but with these really bold letters. This is done on WordSwag, nothing too complicated. They're done on WordSwag, and it carries with it this consistency that you know what's coming. You know that when Rob posts his post-workout picture and then a picture of him and Chelsea, you know that next up is coming that black and white image, and it's very, very visually appealing. All right, Monica, we're going to talk about clear.
Go on to the next one. I'm going to answer a question that I see in the comments section of this. And I think it was Jenny Palumbo. Do we create our own quotes and memes and all that? No, I don't. Well, okay, Christina nodded her head. Here's what we create. Is that, remember those accounts that I told you that we are attracted to? We follow them. When we like something, we save it to our what's it called? Archives, I think it's called, or whatever. You could save stuff on Instagram for later use. If it's not pretty, right? If it's all grainy, or I don't like the fonts that's being used, or it's not black and white, I will recreate it. And WordSwag is, you could do that in 1.2 seconds. But do I make up the funny stuff? No, I find it. I'm out there constantly looking. When I'm mindlessly scrolling, I'm actually working my business. See, that's mindlessly scrolling while working leveraging your business and working your business, not just wasting time. As I'm going there and looking at jokes and stuff like that, I'm saying, okay, what fits my personality and what can I later use for my feed when I'm gonna need, like Christina said, you're looking at your page, okay, what does my page need now? Is it in the need of a quote? What's gonna keep the flow going? Is it gonna be a bright picture or whatnot? And then I'll go to my collection and I'll pull from there and add something into my feed. It's all strategic.
Yeah, and can I add that you don't have to do the funny memes or anything like that. That might not be your personality, and that's okay. It just so happens that that's why I love Instagram. So of course I'm gonna post them on my feed. Like I'm not even joking, sit for an hour and just sit there like cracking up on Instagram with all these stupid memes. And I'm just like, archive, save for later. And that's why I love Instagram. So my following, my people that come to my page, they tell me, like, this is why I love following you. So you don't have to do that if it's not your personality. It just so happens that it is mine. It is Monica's. My sister Becky creates hers on an aqua background, but she grabs the material from other accounts. We use a lot of the same ones because we have like very similar senses of humor. So it really, really depends on what you want to do. We're just talking about certain themes that we see.
At the end of the day, remember guys, as coaches, what is our job? It's to get out there and provide value, right? You got to give value, and then you ask afterwards for business, right? Part of your value, it depends on you, whether it's comedy relief through funny memes. There's some other coaches out there or other accounts out there that are very inspirational. Like they just make you feel, it gives you that daily PD. It gives you that daily reminder that you're amazing, So it just depends on your personality. And then there's some, like we're going to see in a second here, we're talking about clear and bright photos that they don't even need any kind of, wording or anything like that. They just straight up attract people with amazing photos. And we'll talk about that in a second. Like this woman, and I cut her name off by accident, but I ran across her page and I was like, I absolutely love her. Because right away you could tell mom, you could tell she's bright, energetic, the colors that she uses, it's all consistent. And right away, me mindlessly scrolling to find examples for you guys, she stood out. She stood out. And she has not one meme on there. She has not one quote, but I can totally tell by just looking at her first 9, her top 9, what value she offers. And so that we use this example where the bright and colorful photos and clear photos are important. They're very, very important. They tell a story just as much. Do we have a next photo after that? Okay, good. Now, here we want to talk about, because this is, it's crazy to me how many people haven't quite figured this out yet. And it's again, this is another component that will either make you an amateur or make you a pro at what you're doing. And it'll also be your page be something that is sexy and one that is dull. You can see here on the left, Christina played around with it. She's like, literally, Monica, I'm going to sit here in my kitchen right now and I'm going to take a picture facing the window where the light is coming in, and I'm going to turn right around and face the other way. And look at the pictures that she got. There's absolutely no filters on either one. Either one. It was just using the light in the room to take the photo. Literally a 2-second decision, okay? And that's the difference. And we use Stephanie Chico's page there because lo and behold, her very first picture was a selfie, which has that same natural lighting. And you totally grasp the person she is, you know who she is, and it melts well and flows well with her page looking at a clear selfie. It is crazy how many times you see the picture on the left that Christina took. When people just don't realize, turn right around. We were talking about this also when you're outdoors. Same concept. I literally, and I'll joke around, I'll do this with Johan, where we're about to take a selfie, I'm like, wait. And we're like walking in circles until, boom, sunlight. I hit it. I got it. This is the shot. Again, 2 seconds that it takes you to do that, but it makes or breaks what you're doing. And it gives you those clear and bright photos. They absolutely matter. They matter.
Angles matter. Monica, you're going to do this one. I'm going to give
about
this
to see. So you can tell, guys, we had fun making this presentation. Yeah. So you can go to the next one because angles matter as well. Okay, taking the time to, whether you're filming a video of your workout move or you're taking a selfie, whatever the case may be, the angle in which you are filming yourself matters and what you're posting. So Christina, go ahead and show them the example. This is quite embarrassing, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The one on the left is a no-no. And so many times we see this that it kills me. That is the most unflattering angle. But then the one on the right, you can see my face. You can see my whole body pretty much. You can see the move. You can see what I'm working. This changes the game completely. Just in the thumbnail of these 2 videos, which one's more attractive? But it's crazy to me how many times you see the one on the left. It matters, guys. It matters. And I have you know that I also played around with the lighting of this. I moved the camera just a little bit to get the right lighting, to be able to get that yes, where you can see my muscles flexing, you can see my face clearly, and you can see, and it's an engaging video that says, that looks beautiful. The other one, not so much. Not so much.
That was funny. I died when I saw that video. So let's have fun with my pictures. Okay. So you guys, let's talk no and let's talk yes. But first, I want to this is to me one thing that I see a lot in newer coaches that, you know, might not be experienced too much with taking pictures and the importance of taking pictures. I want you guys to understand that I didn't wake up knowing how to take a great selfie. I didn't wake up knowing how to properly hold my phone. I didn't wake up knowing that I, Cristina Delgado, get the best shot always either on a tripod or with my camera propped, because Cristina Delgado cannot hold her iPhone 7 Plus and not shake. So if I take a picture on a one with my thumb to snap, the picture looks like I'm in a 7.5 earthquake, and I cannot post that because that's not a good shot, okay? I have to use a timer to take my pictures, especially after a workout, you guys, when your body's like convulsing after 80-day session. I use a tripod, I use a timer always, and I always use the right angles, right? You don't, think about this. What are the most flattering angles in images, in pictures, whether you have someone taking it or you're taking it yourself? It is never, almost never, I don't know, maybe there's some really beautiful people out there that can take a picture with the phone down here. I certainly can't, because I'm going to show you the 85 chins, right? Like that's like that first one. Then we always see the picture with the TV screen or the laptop, right? That's a common picture that coaches like to take. It's usually the one that is done wrong the most, because you're not, what you're doing is when you're taking the picture, you're focusing on what's behind you and you're not looking at what you look like. You got to focus on what you look like. These are images that are pretty difficult to accomplish well. So I would suggest using a tripod, and absolutely you need to have good lighting with those pictures. You want the light to be on you and not what's behind you, right? You are the most important thing in your picture. And then we have, you know, the selfie in front of a mirror where you're standing like this with the camera all the way towards the mirror, and you got to bring it back. Another thing is, where do you look when you're taking a selfie in a mirror? Here, I'm obviously exaggerating, you guys. I know a lot of you don't look up, but you have to look at the camera, right?
In the mirror.
Right, in the mirror, you look in the mirror, but you look here to where the camera lens is, because if not, you're gonna have that silly face of you looking up like that. And then Monica shows us the double chin picture, and then my favorite, I call it the orb. The orb. When you take a picture in front of a mirror with the flash on, and then you get the glow of angels over your face. We do not do that, because why? The most important thing that you have on your feed is your face, you guys. And one thing I am such a big believer in is that you transfer your energy to your following through your face, through your eyes, through your smile. And so let's look at the yeses. Like one of my favorite images that I took during 80-day obsession was the one in the pink sports bra. That picture I used so much to announce challenge groups, and it was so successful. And the reason why I have been able to dissect and see why is because there's so much energy coming through that picture. It's bright, it's colorful, I have great lighting, I used an awesome filter, and I am just beaming with excitement over this program. There's energy. In the one next to it, I'm looking straight to that camera, straight into the eyes of the people that are following me. And you might think this is silly, you guys, but it's not. It's not silly. This is how you communicate without words. You communicate through your imagery. And the first thing, people don't look at the caption first. They look at whether they like the image first. And if they like the image, then they'll read the caption. So you can write the most beautiful dissertation on your life story and the most impactful moment of your life, and no one will read it if the picture's crappy. So you have to draw them in with the image. And then there's other examples here where, just the selfie in front of a mirror. Where do you place the camera? The two at the bottom, I just love different angles. One thing about Instagram is do different things. I know, because I know her, that Monica probably took that shot at least 50 times before she got that perfect shot right.
Don't post how many times.
Yeah, like I want to see it, because I know the one next to it took me about 30 shots to get the tripod so the phone doesn't fall on my head, to get that shot right there. Do different things, because if it gets repetitive, people are going to start getting bored. Right? So I've been, testing. Ask Monica the other day. I showed her a quote unquote photo shoot I did against my black gray wall. She's like, please never post those pictures.
They were so cheesy.
I will never. All right, let's talk about fit pics, you guys.
Can I add one more thing? Because this is another one that kills me. I don't know about other phones, but like iPhones. It is so easy to smudge, especially with your makeup, when you're using the phone on the camera here and on the camera in the back. It is important to clean your camera before you take any photos, because it doesn't matter the angle, anything. If there's smudge and fingerprints, and I can't tell you how many cameras or how many photos are posted that I know it's just a matter of you cleaning. Like I do with the boob. I just clean it with the boob, and it will change the clarity and the focus and the color of all your photos. So just make sure your camera's clean. That just popped into my head as you were speaking.
That's a really good tip. I clean my camera at least 500 times a day. Like literally, it's always.
But before you take any picture,
it's always dirty. You've got to clean it every single time. All right, let's talk about fit pics, fitness pictures, because they matter. And I'm going to tell you guys that this is a topic where Monica and I don't disagree. I just have a very strong stance on fitness pictures, where Monica's a little bit more relaxed when it comes to the, what's the word? The word is escaping me, where it has to show up every single day. My position is that every time you work out, there should be a picture on it. And I have reasons for that. The most important reason is I'm a big believer in our line of business as fitness coaches, because that's in essence what we are, that you build trust through fitness. People become challengers on your team because they trust you in fitness. And so I believe, and I do this every day. My sister does this every day. A lot of coaches, I told her, I'm like, you do this every day. She's like, well, it's not a hard and fast rule, but I believe that there should be a fitness picture every single day, a great one, or a video, right? That's another thing. You can see here in Emily Robadas's page, she has fitness pictures, she has videos. I just think that as Beachbody coaches, as fitness coaches, and that the trust factor is absolutely so important, that you need to share your consistency, right? One of our mantras is being proof the products work. And this is one of those things. And also there's that element of doing what you say you're going to do. A lot of people, they say, oh, I'm going to start a fitness program. And they make this huge deal on social media about doing the 21-day fix or 80-day obsession or anything. And then, little by little, the fitness pictures disappear and poof, there goes your trust. That's why I strongly believe that as coaches, as you start to build your niche, your brand on Instagram, that fitness has to be prevalent on your page.
All right. So look on what I thought about that.
Go ahead.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree that fitness is the foundation of our business. What I was talking to Christine about right before we went live was, personally, I throw a lot of my fitness, my videos and all that kind of stuff in my Instagram stories. Okay. So whether you see it, if you do or do not see it on my Instagram feed for that day, not like Christine is pretty much like a diary every single day. You're seeing her selfie. You will find mine in the Instagram stories without fail every single day. Okay. So again, it's up to you. But here is one thing that Christine and I definitely agreed on right before this call, is that if it is going to hit your feed, it does need to be polished. And you can see Emily does that here. All of Emily's poses are all different on that first set of 12 photos that are there. They're all different. Her videos, you could tell that they're well taken videos. They're not grainy, the lighting is on point, like it all flows. So if it's going to hit your wall, it needs to be polished and well done. And I think we've gotten that point across. But for sure, I do agree that taking a selfie and proving that you are doing the damn thing every day is important.
Yeah. So this is where we talk about that this is your business, right? I cannot sit here, and Monica cannot sit here and say, do X, Y, Z, and you're going to get ABC results. We can't do that, right? This is where you have to decide, okay, what am I going to implement aesthetically on my feed? What am I going to stick to? What am I going to test before I move on and try something else? And I always think that you need to go through a process of testing your page and getting results and what you feel comfortable with before you just toss it and go on to the next thing. Like, you need to see if what you are implementing is producing results. And I wanted to show you Elizabeth Hartley, my Success Partners account, because Monica and I, as we were searching accounts, realized that Liz herself has gone through very recently an evolution of change in her Instagram account. Liz is, I know, because I speak to her every 2 weeks. We talk about our business. Liz always hits Success Club. Liz always recruits coaches. She has an amazing business and Instagram is starting to pick up for her, that she is actually paying attention to these things that we're telling you about and implementing them. So we're just going to share with you, and kind of walk you through. Here you see she did checkers, right? Like Keisha's page. And then you see where in just a second, you'll notice that she goes into the tiles right here. You see how now there's spacing between the images. And this is a concept that Monica right now is testing on her page, right? So she goes into the tiles. She does that for a couple of weeks. And then you'll see where she completely changes gears recently. Here we go. And she goes into straight, beautiful imagery, because you see the imagery is absolutely stunning. You have a common filter, and there are now no black and white images, no memes, nothing other than amazing photography on Liz's page. So this is a great example of someone that's testing what works for her. And so we might see a change or we might not, but this is where you put on your CEO hat and you say, okay, who am I? What do I like? And what am I going to implement on my page?
All right, so we're going to end this call with a couple of do's and don'ts that we sat down, we thought about, and we wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to go through the do's list. The first is, I think we've made it very clear, use filters and edit your pictures. If you ask Christina, nothing should be hitting your feed without going through some kind of editing process. So use your filters and edit your pictures. Figure out what works for you. Figure out what works with your personality. Figure out what you will remain consistent to. I will tell you, like a couple days ago, I tried to play around with a certain filter, but I wasn't feeling it. And I kind of jump back into my bright pictures. And that's okay. Again, testing out, but find what works for you. And once you find it, remain consistent. Next is scroll stopping transformations. We haven't talked much about this, but these are just as important. The transformation photos are what's going to grab people's attention and say, whoa, what is she doing? Whoa, what is he doing? I want to know what this is about. You lost me there. Scroll stopping transformations are just as important to use very often. In fact, Christina and I were talking about, the scroll test that we always say, like when you scroll up 1, 2, 3 on an IG feed, it should pop up on pretty much every scroll test. All right. So every 12 or so pictures, you should have some kind of transformation, a side by side. Scale photos when necessary. What does this mean? We see so often pictures that are posted that are cut off. If it's a quote, like the quote is the letters are cut off, when you should be able to scale the photo and get the entire thing in a square. Same thing with pictures. Pictures where like the person on the end is cut off because you did not scale the photo to the right proportions. I don't know if I'm making sense, but there is an app that you can use to help you do that. It's called Square Ready, in case you don't know how to do it any other way. Square Ready automatically, with a push of a button, will scale your photos so that it fits into a square. Or on Instagram, you can now do rectangle. Pick video thumbnails. This is also important. When we talk about the aesthetics of your Instagram feed, the thumbnails that you pick for your video needs to be attractive so that a person clicks on it. We kind of saw that with my do's and don'ts, or my no and my yes for the angles. If I would have used that thumbnail, the terrible, terrible crotch shot, that is not very engaging. But on the other video that I posted, if I would have gotten the thumbnail right there where I'm smiling, you can see like this giant smile on my face, abs popping, and I'm in the middle of the move, that is going to be more engaging, and it's going to pop out on my newsfeed and make it aesthetically sexy. Post with a purpose. We talked about that a little while ago, where one post that you put TLC and thought into, and you took the time to create and put love into it, is going to be worth way more than 5 things that you just threw together and put out there and didn't think twice. Okay, so use that thinking, where one with a lot of work is worth way more than 5 that's just thrown out there. And use albums when appropriate. So when we're talking about albums, what we mean is those posts where now Instagram allows you to add up to 10 photos. That creates now this mini album within your feed. Now, this should be used and leveraged wisely. Don't overuse it. And Christina will talk about that in a second, but using them when appropriate. For example, I used it the other day when I was trying to showcase the amazing, the amazing booties that we have created in the last 40-something days, the 80-day obsession. I grabbed a collection of them, put them together, and then posted them out there. And that album had a purpose. It had a purpose, and it showcased what we were doing. You don't want to overuse this, and Christina will talk more about that, but you do use it to make a point and when it's appropriate, right?
Let me, sorry, by the way, I apologize for going nuts with the presentation. I muted myself, and then I couldn't find my mouse to unmute myself. So apologize for that, Monica, for throwing you off. Can I talk a second about scroll stopping transformations a second? Because I think this is one area where some coaches tend to get a little bit lazy, and it makes an impact on your page. If you notice, I'm going to use my account as an example, or any of these very visually appealing accounts. Not that I'm saying mine is extremely visually appealing, but I think there is an aesthetic component to it. My before and afters, I make them. I don't take a post from my challenge group and that, someone that's not even a coach, that doesn't know how to do side-by-sides, where the side-by-side before and after are on the same level, same distance. If it's a mess and there's writing all over it and I don't like the writing, and the writing doesn't jive with my look, I ask them, please send me your before and after separately. I create the before and after. In fact, I did this recently. Paulina posted, not that I'm saying Paulina's page is amazing, but I wanted to do my transformation picture for Paulina's before and after, where I always put meet Paulina, meet Monica, meet so-and-so on my transformation pictures while I tell their story. I create those. I don't take something that I just find, unless it's perfect and I love it, then I'll do that. In fact, Monica posted my booty shot the other day. I'm like, oh, that looks good. And so I used it, but if it doesn't look right for my page, I create my own before and after. And I think as fitness coaches, we need to really get good at the before and afters, because that's one of our main selling points, right? So we'll talk about so the app that I use. It's very simple. It shouldn't be like this whole craziness of 4 pictures. No, before, after, done. The person should be level. They should be the same. The filter scheme should be the same. And that's how you get an eye-stopping transformation picture. Okay, let's talk about don'ts. Don't overuse collages and don't overuse text. This is something that's really important. This is where you get cheesy and amateur and professional, right? If you look at any multi-million, billion-dollar accounts Instagram page, there you do not see cheesy collages and cheesy imagery and cheesy words on their pictures. It is professional, it is clean, it is crisp, and we use that concept in our network marketing businesses, right? Simple, clean, crisp, consistent. You don't have to put 85 stickers on a picture for someone to look at it. In fact, that is probably surefire way to being unfollowed. And for someone, I'm going to be honest, you guys, for someone not to take you seriously, 100%. Another thing that I didn't add here and just popped into my head is the overuse of Snapchat filters, and the ears and the nose and the thing. Like, it's cute once. It's not cute 85 times on your page. In fact, it seems you're trying to hide something. You're not showing your face. You're not showing what you really look like. You're showing, the bunny, right? You need to show you. So don't overuse Snapchat filters. Don't overuse memes and quotes. You should never have 2 quotes or 2 memes next to each other. Don't use repetitive poses and the same location, right? There's some coach accounts that I see where it's the same post-workout selfie every day. Oh, there she is again, every day. Change the location, right? Do something different. Look this way, look that way. Do a flex, do a thing. Don't do the same thing every single day, and change where you take your pictures. Don't use Instagram filters. I know you're probably like, but why? Because they're not good. They're just not good. The filters that Instagram has on their account, my husband does it, and I want to stab him in the eye every time. He puts the same ugly filter on his pictures. Don't use them. Use Snapseed. Use PicTapGo. Use VSCO, which is another amazing new one that we're starting to figure out now. That is where you want to go to edit your pictures, and don't post every picture you take. Another surefire way to get unfollowed on Instagram is if you go on vacation and you post every single picture that you take of your kids on Instagram, and every single thing that you post is the 10 picture max on your albums, and there's no real purpose, just that you got lazy and you said, this is a great way of sharing my pictures and keeping an album for myself. No, it's your storefront. You want to have an album? Create that on Facebook. I always create my albums on Facebook, and I put all my pictures there. Instagram, absolutely not. You pick great imagery that represents what you want to share about your vacation, about your child, about anything, and that's what you're going to post. All right, Monica, you want to talk about some of these apps? We can kind of ping pong back and forth.
Well, okay, the ones that I'm a quote-unquote expert in is Splice, which Christina and I were talking about a second ago. That's the one I use for all of my videos. It's so user-friendly, easy to crop videos, easy to add in music, easy to speed up, easy to add word letters into it. One disclaimer I want to give with the entire list of apps that we gave you guys, we can tell you what they do. We can tell you about the things to look for, but it's going to be up to you to sit down and literally play with them and figure out all of their functionalities. That's exactly how I learned. Maybe there was a thing that I saw Christina do. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I saw you do this thing. How did you do that? And she quickly would say, well, look, I used this feature, but it was up to me to play with it and understand how it works. So you gotta do that, okay? Splice is the good video one. The other one that I use on the daily, there's Square Ready, by the way, for what's the word? Scaling your pictures, and there's a Square Ready video if you want to scale videos, okay? So you can download that one too. And then WordSwag I use all the time. And WordSwag has a really cool function now where you can crop exactly the size of an Insta story. So you can play around with that and add into your Insta story and use better fonts than what Insta story is providing us. Although they're getting creative and they're starting to add new fonts, by creating it in WordSwag, you really take it to the next level. So that's another thing. You can talk about the rest of them that are more.
I think I know Amanda Sobel was really excited about Hype Type. That one will play a big role on Wednesday when we talk about Instagram stories, because that's the new hot one. That actually Jatana Jackson, which you're going to hear her on Wednesday, she did a video, great training on Instagram stories that she talked about during that presentation. I went to it and I was like, oh my God, this is fun now. So we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. Snapseed, PicTapGo, and VSCO are for iPhone. I'm going to talk about Android in just a second. are the ones that we use the most for filters, for filtering and editing our pictures. Hands down, my favorite is PicTapGo because it's really user-friendly. It literally is the most user-friendly out of all the editing, and it allows you to save your quote-unquote recipes. So when we talk about having a common filter theme throughout your page, PicTapGo is like amazing because you can get your image perfect how you like it, save the recipe, and then every time you upload a picture, you can add that recipe to your new image and then adjust it as necessary. Because remember, guys, not every single picture is going to use that same filter. There's going to be lighting differences. There's going to be a lot of little nuances that you have to play with to make it just right. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to share a presentation and a Google Doc dealing with VSCO. It's also a little bit complicated, but when we're talking about filter themes, it's incredible. Monica and I were playing with it this past weekend, and it really has a huge library of filter themes that you can gravitate towards and start implementing right away. And there's this really cool video that Andrea Crowder turned me on to that really highlights how VSCO can work for your Instagram feed. So I'm going to share that tomorrow morning. And then, Layout is a collage app created for Instagram. So it's perfectly square. It is completely simple. I'm a big believer that collages should be used sparingly, and when used should be very simple. Like no crazy, borders and no wording, just pretty imagery, where you have the two side by sides, maybe flip and mirror, or have the three because you're wearing a hot outfit. So use Layout for very simple collages, and I think your Instagram feed will go a long way. Facetune, I'm gonna go there, people. I'm gonna go there. I told Monica, was it yesterday, after having a few glasses of Prosecco, I said, the only picture that should be hashtag no filter is a sunset. You guys get that? You edit your pictures. This whole no filter thing, no, that's amateur. Professionals edit their images. I'm not saying make yourself skinnier. I'm not saying give yourself a six-pack. I'm saying make it aesthetically pleasing. If I were to post a picture of what I look like when I wake up in the morning with my sunspots and my hair looking like I stuck my finger in a socket, no one would follow me. So I use Facetune to smooth out my black spots here on my face. I make myself look more presentable because I don't roll out of bed looking like Cindy Crawford. I really don't. Like, you might think that I do, but I don't, because it's all done up, right? So Facetune is a really simple app that will smooth out your face. It doesn't do anything crazy. It doesn't give you lips. It just smooths out some wrinkles and some face, and I do that, and I'm very honest about that, because on Instagram stories you don't see me do that very often, and so people are like, whoa, I like that you're all natural.
But there goes being real. So people argue, but you're not being, no, except I am, because in my Instagram stories, you're gonna get the real deal. That I just woke up. I've seen Christina. I got my hoodie over my head. I'm talking to you because I barely have my eyes open, and she will do that, and she will be real. But again, guys, this is stepping into now elevating your game and being a pro at what you're doing. Your Instagram feed, that's not the place for it. It's not the place for it. That's the place to have your polished and refined stuff out there that's going to grab attention and invite people into now you're behind the scenes.
Right. So you can touch up here and there when appropriate. I do it especially with my post-workout pictures, because when the light hits, I look like a hot mess, and I don't want to look like a hot mess on my Instagram feed. So there, I said it. All right, let's revisit the exercise, and then you guys, it's time to go to bed. It's time to get to work on our Instagram. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take an account of what accounts you love on Instagram. Write them down, and then write those attributes and characteristics that you love about them, whether it's a coach that you love to follow, that you're just drawn to their vibe, or it's another account. Like there's a certain bloggers that I love to follow every single day because their imagery is just so amazing, and I don't copy them, but I love to see what they're doing to get ideas. And then I want you to take a look at your account and say, what is it that when I wake up tomorrow morning, I can start implementing right away? You can start implementing a filter. You can start implementing a pattern. You can start implementing everything that we talked about today, you can implement right away. And this is only dealing with aesthetics, right? We're just talking about what your account looks like. Monica, I looked a little bit. I think you're looking now at the questions. I did see someone say, would you post what you post on Instagram stories on your feed? I see some coaches do that. My personal opinion is no. I think Instagram stories should be Instagram stories. Your feed should be your feed. And I don't think those two should intertwine with each other where you're using the cool fonts and stuff from Instagram stories on your feed, because likely it's not going to match your theme, your filter theme, and the way that your page should flow. So that's my opinion. I don't know, Monica, if you have a different opinion there. That's just the way.
I just don't think the stuff in Instagram story should not be going to the feed, but I do get the pretty stuff from the feed and I'll plug it into my Instagram stories. That I'll do, but not the other way around.
Amen. I love that. That's a great tip. And then what's next, you guys? Tomorrow is an important day. Tomorrow, we haven't decided exactly what time. It'll probably be around noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Monica and I are going to go live again. It's going to be a shorter presentation because we don't have to go through so much, but we're going to talk about how to make your Instagram feed valuable. Monica, did you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
I just saw somebody asking a minute ago if we're going to talk hashtags. Hashtags coming tomorrow in value.
Well, and also on Friday where we talk about keep it growing.
Keep it growing. You're right. I think it is in keep it growing. We're going to talk about all this stuff. I promise you guys, all the questions I see you guys coming up with, like, we got you. We have thought everything.
Remember what I said at the beginning of this. This took so much time for me to even wrap my head around how we present it, because there's a lot, there's a lot of different aspects to Instagram. So today we just wanted to talk about the look of your Instagram account, the storefront, like Monica said, because that's what's going to get people to up next read your content and then connect with your story, connect with your transformation, connect with what you post and the vibe that you put out there. From there, we're going to go to the back of the house and we're going to talk about Instagram stories and making it fun. And we're going to dedicate a whole day to that. And then follow that up with inviting. And how do you invite using your page, the content, and Instagram stories? Do you see how we're kind of building on that? And then lastly is going to be how you keep your account growing. And we're going to talk about hashtags and tagging locations and ADOSing and different techniques that you can use to keep your account flourishing with not bot accounts, not fake accounts, but people that you want to be in your life. And that's the key to Instagram, that you are attracting the people that you want on your team, that you want in your challenge group, that you want to be friends with. So that's what's coming. I hope this was helpful. We'll share the recording. I'm also going to share the VSCO presentation. You'll see what I'm talking about once I post it. You're going to find that very valuable. And that's it. Monica, great job. This was a beautiful presentation. By the way, Monica put this presentation together, so give her big props because it's amazing. All right, day 2, make it valuable. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Later.